So, you're talking to Luke Mitchell today. Now, tell me, Luke, what kind of guitar are you playing? I've always been curious about that specific Stratocaster you have. No, it's
Stratocaster.
not Stratocaster. SG.
Said that because I've been trying to make it into a Stratocaster.
You're trying to make this into a Stratocaster?
Well, I like Strats, but I like playing SGs more. This is a Gibson SG3, the faded one. I didn't do all this. This is how it came. I did this stuff, but not the stuff on the front. So it used to have a five-way selector right here. You can still see the hole from where that was filled back in.
Wow.
And I can't remember what it was. I think it was like 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know. I can't even remember what the fifth one was. Either way, it sucked. It wasn't working the way I wanted it to, regardless. So this is a five-way switch from a Stratocaster.
Oh.
And then this is a little switch that turns on or off my front or back pickup, depending on where this is. So this switch, the five-way, is same as a Stratocaster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this switch, when I'm over here, it'll turn on that pickup to give me that, or likewise, if I'm over here, it'll turn on this pickup to give me that. Also, if I'm using these guys and I flick that, it'll turn on all three. So it gives me a pretty good spread of sounds.
Wow.
Chiefly what was like missing from the guitar before was this combination. That, for whatever reason, like the classic, both pickups on, just wasn't there. And that's actually what I use most of the time. So on the first Wizard CD, I didn't have access to that, and my guitar sounded a certain way. Granted, that was also recorded with an army of noise behind my guitar, but no need going into that too much. But now I have a lot of a clearer sound because I can blend the two. Not with volume or anything, just the fact of having them both on makes it quite a lot nicer sounding. For certain applications. A lot for Wizard. Wizard, I also use the middle pickup by itself for some of the older Wizard stuff. But, I mean, to the casual listener, I don't really know how much that comes through.
Fascinating.
So and I put the Bigsby on a little while ago, and I just got a new bridge for it. So the bridge has little rollers on it to decrease string friction.
Oh.
Something like that, anyway, I don't know. They tell me these things on the internet, man. I do my best. And I got locking tuners up here.
Oh, the locking tuners, now those look good.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just crucial, man. Like, guitars are... SGs can be a bit of a trick.
Yeah.
At times for tuning. I've heard a lot of different people complain about that. But I've never really had too much of an issue. Even before that, I didn't have too much of an issue, but I mean, with the chords I play, you gotta have a pretty sharp ear to tell if I've gone off. It sounds pretty abrasive to begin with. And I don't help it with the amount of treble I have in my tone either, so that's that. But yeah, man, that's my guitar. She's a nice one. I like it.
Now, one particular piece of gear that I have to ask you about now. This is now I need to get going to like amps, for example. Now, right here you have a Vox amp.
Yeah. This is the AC4.
This amp was used on some Richard recordings, if I'm right, correct?
No, not the AC4. I have a Vox AC15. The one that they came out with a couple years ago with the dual inputs for high and low, similar to what you have on the AC30. But for the Wizard stuff, on the first album I had an older version of the same amp. On the second album, Savant and Three Wheeler as well. It's pretty much chiefly that AC15 out front. My Trainer half stack was in there as well, but it's more of like the bed of noise that the Vox sits on. Just kind of gives it the girth that it might be missing. I don't know. But yeah, this guy's just a little practice amp that I have. Good for getting that, like, just really, really clear, clean tone that I'm often looking for. And I'm working on getting an amp head actually different from my trainer that gives me a lot more headroom. A little bit more of a current amp, not something from the 70s, a little bit less noisy. Something that hopefully some of the articulation stuff that I'm playing kind of comes through a bit better on. Less wall of noise. Still wall of noise. Still a lot of noise. Not gonna deny that one.
What do you usually set your amps up to exactly? Usually.
I set them up less about knobs and more about like there's a sound. There's just kind of a sound that this guitar makes when all the knobs are in the right place, and like right now on this amp, you know, I've got my bass cranked. I'd never do that on my trainer, but that's a bass amp, right? So I can't have it gets pretty weird when I crank the bass. I get a little Tony Iommi going. My treble's way back. You know, my treble's usually a lot higher, again, because I play a bass amp live. My AC-15 I also set very differently than this. It also doesn't have a middle knob. But the AC-15, just because I typically play it at a much louder volume, I find that I have to set it up a little bit different. It's always the same tone, ultimately. To me anyway. Like, it's always like, I get my amps to sound the way I want this guitar to sound.
Well, it comes off in your recordings. I mean, a lot of tonal consistency.
Yeah, awesome. That's good.
It doesn't. It won't sound like one from one song to another song. A drastic change in like completely different guitar. So.
Yeah. Well, it's all the same stuff. I mean, for Savant and for Three Wheeler, we recorded them both the same. Like I recorded all the songs with the Trainer half stack, and then we went back and did all the songs again with the Vox, so that there was the two separate tracks. That took a little while, but you know, it sounded pretty good in the long run, so it was worth it.
Very cool. Now, do you use any pedal? Do you use any pedals or at all or no?
I just started using a delay pedal. It's this little blue guy, the Hot Shot or Quick Draw Delay, I think it's called. I don't know. It's nothing boutique. It costs like $50-$60 or something, you know. Sounds amazing. Love it. There's a lot of dudes that have a lot more delay pedals than I that agree with me on that. So take it for what you will. Play it and see what your ear thinks. But yeah, the tuning pedal has been my that's a key one right there. I use that a lot. It wouldn't be where I am without that pedal.
Chromatic, the TU2. Classic. Do you use it? So you use it mainly as like a just tuner on stage, or do you also use it like the kill switch as well?
I don't do any kill switch. Like I cut my signal when I tune, but that's just honestly because no one should have to listen to anyone tune. Like unless you're just a shark with your ears and you can just hear it like that, you know. And a lot of musicians can, right? You know, do it nice and quick. No one will care. But if you're sitting there trying to tune by ear, just making people listen to you tune between tunings, between songs, if you're a band that does that, I don't know. I'd rather, you know, the rhythm section do something while I tune. And with Mitch and Alex, I mean, those guys.
Awesome.